All right, let's again focus on the KZN situation where disaster management teams deployed from various parts of the country have resumed their search for those who went missing during the floods in KwaZulu-Natal. In Durban, families are flocking to Phoenix mortuary in hopes that they will find the bodies of their loved ones. The floods have left more than 400 people dead and more than 40,000 people homeless. The South African National Defence Force has confirmed it is deploying 10,000 troops to the region to help with mop-up work, field accommodation and transporting humanitarian aid after the floods. All right, well, political parties have also stepped in to assist communities that have been affected by the devastating floods in KwaZulu-Natal. We're now joined by a DA leader in KZN, Francois Rodgers. A very good afternoon to you, Francois. Thanks very much for joining us here on SABC News.
Good afternoon, Flo, and good afternoon to your viewers.
We understand that you've been visiting affected areas throughout the day. Take us through the kind of assistance that you have been providing in some of those areas where you've seen really the most damage and affected areas and people in general. I mean, you know, when we talk to some of the NGOs, they've really painted a picture of serious devastation.
Yes, Flo, indeed. The signs of the flooding and the damage is still everywhere to be seen. And one of the areas that I've noticed that's really of grave concern to me is areas where roads and bridges have been washed away that still remain unmanned or unmarked. There's no sign of any Metro Police or SAPS marking these areas as a danger area. And that was something that struck me. And one wonders why these areas aren't being marked off, because it's potential for another accident. Currently, I'm at a school, at a children's home, where the retaining wall of the neighbor collapsed and the entire school was flooded. There was a break in the sewer line. The entire school was flooded. They've done a lot of work here. The local communities helped them. They've really got things back together. And we've been delighted to be able to help the children here and give out some blankets during this difficult time. The other area I visited this morning is a school called Primary Ridge Primary School. And it's near the Annette Drive informal settlement where houses were washed away. And those people were then housed in the school, which is now creating some challenges because obviously the school is struggling to operate as it's housed about 150 of the local residents there. And you can imagine a little pre-primary school, now adults, men, women, children sharing toilets, and the school's not functioning.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with the Premier about the challenges, and he's given me his undertaking that they're aware of it, they're dealing with it, and they're going to give it their attention. And of course, we will monitor that to make sure that the situation is normalized in that community. And
Francois, how will you be monitoring that? I mean, I'm hearing you talking about your conversations that you've had or are having with the Premier, and we know, of course, that, you know, government has come forward promising to rebuild and make sure that those that are affected are in fact attended to. And it's interesting because you're also talking about, you know, these bridges that have collapsed, for example. So certainly a lot of that money having to go towards infrastructure. Let's talk about how you would be indeed holding the government of KZN to account in terms of the promises that we heard that have been made.
Well, look, obviously, Flo, we've got members in our caucus who are allocated portfolios, whether it's human settlement, whether it's transport, whether it's social development. And I think from that perspective and through our committees and our oversight on our committees, we need to hold them accountable. The Premier, as you might know, is putting together a statement tomorrow, an executive statement in the provincial legislature. And as political parties, we'll be able to contribute to that debate. And I'll be highlighting some of the issues I've seen. And also, I'll be holding the Premier personally to account, particularly in the school, where it's a DA ward, and our councillor will monitor the situation.
All right, Francois Rodgers, thanks very much for giving us your time this afternoon, sir, and good luck with the work you're doing.
Thank you, Flo.
All right, that's Francois Rodgers, DA leader in KwaZulu-Natal.